We all have to make choices, right? Some small, some huge. But what if there was a smarter way to do it? Today, we're diving into a really cool framework for making decisions, something our source material calls the Eightfold Path.
You know that feeling. I mean, we've all been there. You're staring at a pro-con list that's a mile long, and your brain is just running in circles with all the what-ifs. It doesn't matter if it's about a job or a big move. That feeling of being totally paralyzed by a choice, it's the worst.
And, a big reason we get so overwhelmed is that we're looking at it all wrong. We think of a decision as this one, single, high-stakes moment, like flipping a switch. But what if we changed our perspective? What if we saw it not as a scary cliff to jump off, but as a journey with an actual path to follow?
So, that's where this idea of an eightfold path comes into play. Instead of just stumbling around in the dark, totally lost in your own thoughts, imagine having a map. This framework gives you that map, that structure. It's designed to turn all that chaos into a clear path forward.
So, what is this thing really? Well, it's a way to demystify the whole process. It takes that one giant, terrifying decision and breaks it all down into smaller, separate, totally manageable stages. It basically turns a big, scary mystery into a step-by-step method.
And yeah, the key number here is 8. There are 8 distinct steps to guide you through any choice. And that's not just a random number. It represents a full, deliberate cycle that has a clear beginning, a middle, and an end. So let's take a look at what that might look like.
Now, here's a really interesting detail. Our source material is clear that there are 8 stages, but it doesn't actually give them specific names. So what you're seeing here is just an example of what that path could be, from framing the problem all the way to reflecting on what happened. The real takeaway here isn't about memorizing these specific labels. It's the powerful idea that any decision follows a logical sequence of steps.
Okay, but here's the thing. Just knowing the path exists, that's not the magic trick. The real power of this whole framework goes way deeper than just checking off some boxes on a list.
And this, right here, is the core insight, pulled straight from the source. The point isn't just to know the 8 steps. The goal is to learn the specific issues and challenges that you personally run into at each one. It's all about becoming more self-aware about how you make choices.
This is a fantastic way to think about the difference. A simple checklist just tells you what to do next. But this framework, it's more like a diagnostic tool. It helps you figure out why you're stuck. Are you someone who's amazing at gathering information, but then you freeze when it's time to actually come up with new ideas? Or maybe you make the choice, but then never actually do anything about it? This helps you pinpoint your personal roadblock.
So, what's the big idea we should walk away with? It's that when we shift our focus away from that final stressful choice and onto the process itself, we get so much more clarity and control. This whole framework becomes a blueprint for making better decisions time and time again.
I mean, the benefits here are real. When you have a map, that anxiety of feeling lost starts to fade. You know exactly where you are in the process. That huge, vague problem suddenly becomes a series of clear, doable steps. And by figuring out your own personal weak spots, those challenges at each step, you can actually work on them, which in the end just leads to much better, more confident decisions.
And that's really what it all boils down to. When you stop obsessing over the final outcome, the what, and you start focusing on improving your process, the how, that's when you gain this incredible sense of control. The quality of your choices just naturally gets better because you've made the system that creates them stronger.
So, I'll leave you with something to think about. As you consider your own path for making choices, from the very beginning to the very end, where do you tend to get stuck? Because just identifying that challenge, well, that's the first step on a much better path. Thanks for tuning in.